Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I really appreciate that you're here. My name is Amy Sharosh and I am a 56-year-old part-time makeup artist with a full-time corporate career. And I like to bring my passion for things that I learn about makeup, skincare, healthy things for your body and for helping us get through this pro-aging phase. I hate the term anti-aging, so I am not sponsored. I am not on any PR list, so everything you see me do here on my channel currently is product that I have purchased and that I am testing because it's either new to me or it's something I've seen and I want to see if it works for my skin. So hopefully you can learn something from me today, and I would appreciate any comments. And if you like this type of video, because I'm fully transparent and I'm happy to answer any questions you have, I get my joy from researching and teaching others. I'd be grateful if you guys would subscribe and comment and share. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk today about a new to me brand. It's a brand that I have seen other influencers and makeup artists do videos on, whether it be on TikTok or on YouTube. But it's also a brand that my personal mentor, Melanie Mills, who's based in Nashville and owns the Makeup Altar, had mentioned to me. We had talked a little bit about it, and she has met with the founder. She carries this brand in her store, and I really trust her recommendations. So I purchased quite a bit of their products, and they also connected with me in regards to checking out some of their other products that I didn't have. So there are two items here that I will point out that this brand did send to me. The rest I have purchased. Just because I was curious. And the funny thing with this brand is when I first purchased all these products, I had done this unboxing video and I had swatched all the colors and tested all the textures, and I was really happy with what I had tried. And then when I played back the video, I realized there was no sound, which made me sad because it's like I wasted all that time. I had already thrown out all the boxes and done everything, but let's move on. So what we're going to talk about today is, the brand is Mob Beauty, M-O-B Beauty, and it's a clean, sustainable brand. I really, really, really love their packaging, and I'll get into why in just a minute, but it was actually founded by a group of beauty industry veterans, one of which happens to be Victor Casale, and hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He was previously the prior chief chemist for MAC. So for those of you that know of the iconic MAC Spice liner from several years ago, that was one of his formulations. Now he has something kind of similar with Mob Beauty, but he and his partners, I love watching their videos. I love what they're doing with the brand, but really, I haven't tried the product yet, so I'll get into how it feels on my skin and how it performs for me. And then we can kind of dive into one of the big reasons why I like them is because of the packaging. Let's dive into Mob Beauty and let me show you what I had picked up. First of all, one of the things that I really, really, really love about them is their packaging. And the reason why is because it is refillable and recyclable. So I've even seen, I'd have to find the video to link it, but I saw one of their videos where they had taken the packaging and they actually were able to plant it in a flower garden outside because it's going to decompose and it's not going to harm the environment. So I thought that was pretty cool. But here's one of the big reasons why I like them. So this palette here, I have a bunch of different eyeshadows in. We have some powder shadows, we have some clay shadows, but here's why I really like it. Number one, you can pop these shadows in and out, and just by flipping it over, I can see the different names of the shadows that I have. But it's got a magnetic closure. So let me just kind of open this. It's a beautiful package, right? And then when I close it, it just snaps closed. So the colors are very easy to pop in and out. So if I just press the back of this, it's going to pop right out. Hopefully you can see that. And then it actually, Okay, so I discovered this after the fact. I was doing it the hard way. I forgot about this because it's been a couple weeks since I've played with this, but you can actually lift this. So here's the cool thing, right? So I can use this, the way this is designed, you see how we've got the big squares here? So I can put some of their bigger pans here for like the foundation or the blush, or if I want to do the little individual eyeshadows, I can do that. So I actually picked up 2 of these, because one I was using for the foundation and blush, and one I was using for the eyeshadow. So let's dig in. I have already done my skincare, so I'm not going to put any additional prep products on my face. I'm not going to use any primer, and the reason why, number one, I don't use primer a lot. If I do, I'll use it like right in through here where you happen to see a bit more of the pores, maybe right here. But for the most part, I let my skincare be my primer, and I've done that about 2 hours ago. But I am going to take this product here because I truly believe that this is a game changer for putting on concealer. This is the Wet n Wild Prime Serum Base. You see how it's very liquidy? But I like to put this just under my eyes and let that really hydrate that under eye area while I'm getting ready. Now, normally, if it's a work day, what I will do is I'll have my under eye patches on so that it'll catch like any fallout while I'm getting ready. But I've already done that today, so I'll usually put like whatever eye product I'm using, I'll put that on, put my eye patches on, do my eye makeup, and then I'll put this serum on before I start in with my complexion products. For me, my habit is to always do my eye makeup first, because this way if I screw it up and I have to fix it, I'm not messing with any of my complexion products. So I want to kind of show you these eyeshadows. I've got a mix here of the clay products versus the powder products. The clay products are very creamy, very highly pigmented, and long wearing. So this one is, this peachy colored one is the M123. So hopefully, let's see if you can see that. See the pigment on that? And the other thing I like is because it's so creamy, it's really going to be blendable and easy to work with. The other one, which I'm probably going to use today, is this one here, which is M88. Let me use a different finger. And this one's more of like a pinky color because I'm wearing a light pink top today. It's a Sunday, we're not going anywhere, just hanging out. I'm going to do some content, maybe write another blog post. So I just want to keep it light and fun today. I just find the actual process of putting on makeup to just be, you know, very soothing for me. Now this one is a powder, and this one is the, let's see, we've got the M1, and I'm going to swatch that one for you too. It's like a dusty rose, but even the powders, look how much pigment that has. Like, that is just so freaking pretty. I love it. Anyway, moving on. And before I forget, these two right here, I will demonstrate as well. These are what they call their cake liners. So for me, and I don't know if you guys have this issue or not, right? I don't put a lot of eyeliner on the bottom because I don't want to draw attention to this area here. And I got a whole nother idea for a video on the whole eye area. But what I find is when I use these cake eyeliners on like a very, like an angled brush, like this one here is actually from Crown. And then I can really get in and work that into the lash line to make my eyelashes seem more dramatic. I find that this, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put like an actual eyeliner, like a cream or gel eyeliner, but I need to set it with a powder because if I don't, for me, it's going to transfer. I have very watery eyes. And inevitably, it'll either end up on the bottom waterline or I'll end up with eyeliner like right in this area. So I just find that setting it with more of a powder shadow kind of sets it in place for the whole day. So let's dig in. I am going to go with that light pink. Now here's the cool thing. These particular shadows, because they're so creamy and blendable, you can actually apply it with your finger. Now, I don't typically apply with my finger, but just because I'm a weird, like, putting like foundation or products on my fingers, to me is just weird. I don't like the feeling, but this is just so freaking light. I'm just gonna look in this mirror over here so I can see what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm going to keep it easy today. Not going to go crazy like I would if I was going to work where I do a full face of, you know, contour and all that other stuff. But look at how easy that goes on. If you prefer to use a brush, use a brush. Let me just get a wipe here. I use the Bioderma Sensi Bio wipes just to wipe off makeup and like on my fingers, or if I'm needing to correct where I've had some fallout on myself or a client. I like to use these for that, but I do not use these or any sort of makeup wipes to take off my makeup at night. So I'm going to use this brush from Flashback. It's from Makeup Geek. These are no longer available, but these are actually one of my all-time favorite blushes, and not because it has a purple handle. It's just I love the feel of the brush itself, and these I've had for a very long time, and they've really held up well. So I'm just gonna buff out the edge here. Now, normally I don't do my lid color first, but because I'm keeping this easy today, I'm just gonna go in, blend it up. I'm gonna tap a little bit. When I blend, I try to come out more rather than down, because even though I have what you call protruding eyes, they're still, the shape of them is actually more of a round shape. So I just wanna blend it more out towards the tail of my brow, so I'm not dragging my eyes down. So we're gonna put some on this eye. And as far as eye primer, honestly, you guys, it's a matter of preference. There's no right or wrong answer here. Because this is a cream shadow, I didn't feel like I really needed a primer. If you have a lot of discoloration in your lids, you can certainly do that. And what you use is also a matter of personal preference. There's no right or wrong answer. You don't necessarily have to use something that's specifically an eye primer. You certainly can. One of my favorites is from P. Louise. They have a base that comes in a big freaking tube that's going to last me forever. And it comes in different shades, so depending on your skin tone and what you're trying to cancel out on your lid would depend on what shade you use. You can buy it from their website or from Amazon. I think it's base 2. I'll have to look, but anyway, or you can use your concealer. The only thing to keep in mind with your concealer is don't use like a hydrating dewy concealer on your lid, because that hydration is basically going to cause your makeup to shift and move around. You want to use something that's more of a matte. So I usually have a towel here to clean off my brushes. Okay, so I've got that lid shade on, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in and take that dusty pink here, which was, I think, what it was at the M88? No, sorry, the M1. And I'm just gonna use the same brush. I don't need to get another brush dirty. And I'm going to just do my transition area. Now, for those of you that have hooded eyes, my eyes are hooded as well, but because I have protruding eyes for various reasons, part of it's genetic, I have a lot more real estate and lid space. So I'm quite sure y'all have seen a ton of videos on how to apply eyeshadow for hooded eyes. I can certainly provide some tips in that space if you need some assistance, but basically I know my eye, and I know that if I come up here in the brow bone area, that's going to make that transition color visible. Now I tend to do more of like a bit of a circular motion, not so much the windshield wiper, and then kind of like maybe a tapping motion just to kind of get that color to settle in, because I'm not going to do a whole lot today. I'm not going to go like full glam on the eyes. So let's see, I wish I had a better mirror here. Actually, let me do this. My Lashify mirror comes off the base, so let me use that. I can't use the mirror in a compact because for me, it's just too dang small. I need to like see big picture. I don't know if anybody else deals with that. I haven't done anything to my brows today. All I've done is brush them through. I'm not going to go through the whole, laying them down with a brow gel or a brow wax. I may touch them up with a pencil, but that'll probably be it for today. we don't really have anything planned. We're probably just going to hang out on the patio and chill. I decided to take this week off from the corporate job and do a little staycation because there's some stuff I need to catch up on and I needed to burn some time. So I'm just going to bring this in a little bit over here, kind of keeping it like right with the tail of my brow. If you want to give your eyes a bit more lifted look, it's okay to like maybe pluck some of the little brow hairs right here off the edge, because your brow doesn't need to go all the way down, and I actually need to do that. I need to just take a few off because that's where I actually want to stop my shadow, is right at the edge of the brow. So I'm just going to blend this in. When you're working with darker colors, what you want to remember to do is blend dark to light. So don't go back and forth when you're doing your darker colors. You want to keep it in the same direction. And I'm really loving these shadows. They feel like nothing going on the skin, which is beautiful. I did not bring an eyeliner over to my vanity. Y'all, if you could see my vanity, it's a hot mess right now. I'm like trying to make room for my little tripod, trying to make sure I have enough lighting. And I'm just gonna tap right here where I want that darker color to just fade into the lighter color. So I don't know how this is translating on camera. Hopefully it's okay to where you guys can actually see the color. I know it's pretty light, but honestly, I don't need to be all that today. I know you guys can see all my fun little grays popping out here. It's time to get my color refreshed. So I will definitely be doing that this week. Okay, I'm gonna take my little crown angled brush here. I'm gonna go in to the brown cake liner because I don't want to do a black. I don't need anything heavy today. The brown one is the color is M90. And where I put that, just so you guys know, it's not on the actual upper waterline. What I do is I work it into the actual lashes. So I'm gonna come here and I'm just gonna work it in to the lashes. Now, this really would work easier if I wasn't filming. Basically what I would be doing, and this is something I learned from Rose and Ben, is to lift the actual lashes and work it in. But obviously I need one hand to hold the mirror to see today. So, but I have, because my eyes are big enough, I can actually see well enough to just go in and work that in. And I got a little bit on my lid, but that's okay. We can fix that. Just work this in. And this is great, you know, to help your lashes look fuller when you put on mascara. I may or may not put on some lashes from Lashify today. I haven't decided. I love those because it's like I put them on, I can wear them for 3 or 4 days, even if my eyes are super watery from allergies and all that other fun stuff. So it just cuts my get ready time down. But for me, putting those on is a process because I like to take my time. So I usually will put them on a weekend because I sure as heck don't have time to do that during the week. I don't like to do them before bed because then the bond will still be a little bit tacky, and I end up inevitably finding a couple of them on my pillow. All right, so now we're gonna dig into the foundation. I got 2 different shades of the foundation just because I wasn't sure. One is a neutral 30 and the other one is neutral 40. So here's 30, here's 40. Now these pans are kind of small, as you can see. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to, first of all, wipe any color swatches off the back of my hand. And I am going to take, let's see here. I'm going to take a spatula. And I'm gonna actually scrape some out. Hold on one second, let me see if I can get this to open correctly for me. There we go. All right, I'm gonna scrape some out on to the back of my hand. The 30 might be a wee bit light for me. I'm not really sure. So the nice thing is I'll start with the lighter color. If that doesn't work, then I can mix in a bit of the 40 and mix them together to come up with my own custom shade. But that little bit, look at how much that's spreading. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I'm gonna take this brush here. This is more of a dense kabuki style brush. This is from Delium Tools. I fell in love with the pink. I have 2 sets of the blues. I was introduced to this brand of brush during my makeup training, and I just love them because for those of you that like are not sure what brush to use for what, they're all labeled. I love it when a brand labels their brushes, not with just a number, but with what the brush is for. Once you get more comfortable, you can be more experimental and use the brushes any way you see fit. That'll work with your face. So normally the way I would color swatch is really down this area, right? Because this area gets no sun, and I want to make sure that when I'm applying color that I'm blended, that I don't look like I'm a floating head. So I want to use something that's going to blend really nicely. And in looking at this light, I don't know if it's because it's so bright in here, but I'm thinking for this time of year, this M30, neutral 30, is gonna work really well for my skin tone. It's not showing up real yellow, which is an issue I sometimes have because my skin is, I would say I'm more neutral. I've got a little bit of redness in my skin, I got a little bit of yellow in my skin, but sometimes the neutral tones from brands can look a little too yellow on me. And there's ways to get around that, but I think this is actually the perfect combination for me. I was gonna can't find it right now, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But normally, on any other day, what I would have done is I would have taken my green corrector just around here, where I've got some broken capillaries just from, you know, pro-aging. It's inevitable. But I forgot to bring it with me today because I'm not 100% prepared, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna tap this in. Hold on one second. Okay. So I'm just gonna take what's on the back of my hand, which putting it on the back of my hand kind of warmed it up a little bit. Now the cool thing about this foundation is that it's a high performance formula, right? Which means that it's buildable, right? It's got buildable coverage. It's more of a natural skin-like coverage, and I can already see that. It's like it's not settling in any of my fine lines that I have like right in through here, and I have some in the nasal labial fold. It's just kind of like blending in really, really nice. And I am gonna take it up to the ear so that I don't have 2 different colors going on here. I like to do more of this tapping motion just because of texture on my skin that you may or may not be able to see. And I am going to bring it down. Wow, this little bit went a long way. The other thing that I like about this particular foundation, because I did my homework, I did my research, is that it contains ceramide 2 and hyaluronic acid. And what that ceramide 2 does is it basically moisturizes and attracts the water. Between that and the hyaluronic acid, it brings that moisture and suppleness to your skin. So you're not gonna look greasy. You're not gonna look like overly dewy. You're basically just gonna have this radiant finish, which I can see that already. I mean, I've got a little bit of hyperpigmentation going on over here. And this is the side that, you know, faces the car window when I'm driving. So I have had a spot here lasered a couple of times, and I do wear sunscreen on a daily basis. But the thing is like, you know, even if you have tinted windows in your car, that sun is still coming through. It's still gonna get you in the side of the face. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be so much darker. And then I also have freckles, which you probably can't see, but I have, especially if I go out in the sun, you'll definitely see them. But I have them here along my forehead. I do have them in through here. Oops, I didn't blend that very good right there. But then you can really see them like on my neck and my chest and my arms. My daughter's got them too. One of them loves her freckles and the other one hates them. Go figure. So, I'm just gonna continue to blend this in. Now, one thing I will tell you, because this is a cream foundation and it's blending in nicely, I am still going to powder this because it's a cream. And I know you're gonna say, wait a minute, but your skin should never powder. It really depends on the powder, on the foundation you're using, whatever products that you're putting on your face. But quite frankly, I feel like there's a lot of instances where you're just not going to be able to get away from the powder. It's just how much you're putting it on and how you're applying it and the consistency of the powder, right? You don't want anything that's, you know, too heavy. You really want to keep with that finely milled powder. And there's lots of good brands out there. I've also been trying some what they call lavender, the lavender powder. I've been trying that in the pressed and in the loose. And I really like that for brightening. And also, if you get a foundation that might be just a tad bit too yellow and you use a lavender powder on top of that, that's going to neutralize that yellow because they're opposite each other on the color wheel. Okay, so that is well blended. Now the reason why I went down my neck and a little bit back here is if I decide to pull my hair up in a ponytail, again, I want to make sure that I have consistent color, that you're not seeing, you know, one shade here and then I'm like, you know, pale alabaster white back here. I just want to keep it pretty even. So I am loving this. I'm also debating at this point if I even put on concealer because honestly, the way this worked in, I don't know that I really need it. I have a new concealer brush I want to try too. I don't have it unboxed yet, but there's a new one I got from Nicole Beauty. I don't know if you've ever watched Nicole Johnson. I love her. She focuses on, you know, us mature gals, our Gen X, baby boomers, and she has this, just the shape of the concealer brush. I'm like, that's like perfect. It's gonna fit perfect right in this area. Now I'm just kind of tapping because I had gotten a little bit of that brown liner on there. And my dog is barking, which is a good sign because she has been so sick all week. We thought for sure on Friday that we were gonna lose her. It was pretty traumatic. She's only 5 years old and she's been going through it, and I think a lot of it is the medications that she has been prescribed or been given. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. So what I'm gonna do, here is their finishing or setting powder. This is in a cardboard container, which, you know, is a departure from what you would typically see with brands. But again, it's because of their commitment to the environment. So they do tell you that when you open this, your best bet is to twist and lift. And then you can see it's got some really good perforations in here for getting the product out. So I'm actually just gonna put a little bit of this in the lid. Okay. I got this big fluffy brush from Decipher. Decipher is one of those brands where you can customize your foundation shade based on your skin tone. So I'm just going to set this because I don't want this to move. And as you can see, it's really light, so it's not getting caught in any of my fine lines. It's just setting that cream foundation. And I don't look like I have a mask on, right? Because this foundation has got that natural skin-like finish, right? I did just do one layer, so you might still see a little bit of my hyperpigmentation, like right in through here. You really can't see too much on the jawline. And then I'm gonna take, let me find a concealer. Let me see, what do I want to use today? What's this one? All right, this is Natasha Denona. I didn't get a concealer from them. This is the C1, which is Cool One. And then I'm gonna take my Anissa angled concealer brush, which, love this brush. It's nice and dense, and it's got the perfect shape. Okay, so this concealer is a little bit peachy, which, let's see how that's gonna work. I put it on the brush because I want to be able to control where it's going. And I'm just gonna bring it down because I want to brighten this whole area. You can use the wand, you know, to tap it in where you want it first. But I'm just gonna work this in right in through here. And then I will probably take a sponge to really press it in. I'm gonna put a little bit here, tip of my nose. I'm gonna work this in just a second. I'm gonna take these little sponges that I got off of Amazon. Thank you to Marlene Estelle from the Makeup Geek, because she recommended these. They're called Paw Paws. They are so pliable. I freaking love these things. And you can get, let me see if I can find them. You can get a whole bag for like cheap from Amazon. Yeah, they're called latex-free high-definition sponges. You get 6 of them, and for the amount of sponges I go through, like if I'm working on a client and I use a sponge, I give it to them, right? You don't ever want to reuse a sponge on another client, even if you wash it and disinfect it. So I just give it to the client for them to use for the future. Look at how nice all this stuff is just blending in. I'm loving this today. Loving it. All right, let's go in with a blush and a bronzer. So I got the M27 blush and I got the M80 cream bronzer. And I know you're gonna say, wait a minute, you already put powder on your face. Why are you going over it with a cream product? You should do all your creams and liquids first and then your powders, and you are right. But for today's purposes, the way I'm gonna apply this will not disturb the powder. So let me find the brush I wanna use. Since this is a cream, I'm gonna use this one here from Delium. It's what they call the BDHD Phase 2. It's kind of angled and it's more dense. And I'm just gonna go right into the pan for the bronzer. Get some on that brush. And I'm just gonna put this where the sun actually hits me. I don't ever use bronzer to contour my face because number one, it's too warm. If I'm gonna be contouring, it's because I wanna create a cool shadow to hide things, right? Or to minimize things. So I just put this exactly where the sun would hit me if I was outside. And this is something I learned from Rosemary Swift of RMS Beauty, which to me makes total sense. The whole point of bronzer is to warm up your face. And the sun is not hitting me down here. The sun is not hitting me here. Those are places where I would use a cool tone product. Senna Cosmetics has a really pretty cool tone contour, cream contour, which I love. I just don't have it upstairs with me right now. So I'm just gonna do this to kind of warm up my face, just a tad. And then the blush I got is a powder blush. So I am going to use this one here. It says it's a slanted contour brush, but this is what I mean about like when you get comfortable with your brushes, you can use them any way you see fit. So I'm just gonna tap into this blush, which is kind of like a peachy. Normally I would go with something a little more pink because I'm wearing a pink shadow, but I'm just gonna start like right where the center of my pupil is. And I'm just gonna tap that in. I'm gonna come up here just a little bit to give me a lift. And you can always tap on the back of your hand or on, you know, if you've got a little towel on your lap, or I love these little cotton pads that I get from Walgreens, just to bring some color in and lift. And then I will probably go, just do the tip of my nose. Probably gonna go off camera for just a minute to find what mascara I wanna put on, and then we're gonna talk about a lip product that I got from Mob, and I will be right back. Okay, let's put on some lip color from Mob Beauty. I picked up, or let me rephrase that. They sent me the N159 lip liner, which I had requested, and the M139 lip balm. Again, packaging is sustainable, so it's more of like a heavy cardboard that you can recycle. And I know in the beginning, you know, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, didn't you say at the beginning you don't get PR? So I don't, right? I'm not on any lists like, you know, with e.l.f. or any of the other brands. They just happened to reach out to me and saw that I had done some other makeup videos, and, you know, I have that relationship with Melanie Mills as well. And so they offered to send me a couple of products. I told them what I already owned, and the couple of products that I was interested in, which was their translucent powder, and then I had seen Melanie do a video with this liner and this balm, so I definitely wanted to try that. Now this may be a little bit too dark for me, and it may be not a Sunday color, but we're gonna try it anyway because you know what? It's makeup and we can take it off. So normally, and I did do this today, but it's probably worn off, I put like either a lip balm or some sort of like lip filler liner along my lips as I'm starting to get ready. What that does is it hydrates, it helps to plump up those little lines that you get. Even if you were never a smoker, inevitably you're going to be getting those lines. I really like the one, I think it's from Urban Decay. It's called Ozone. It's like a white pencil and it's kind of waxy. I also like from Senna Cosmetics, they have a pencil style balm that I am constantly reaching for, and I'm constantly putting it on. It's one of my go-tos, and I actually need to order more so I have backups. So I'm going to take this lip liner, and I've got a decent Cupid's bow, but I want to kind of soften that up a little bit. So instead of going down and being real harsh with the line, I'm just going to like gently carve that out so it's not as pronounced. And you can do this in little feathery strokes. And I do not go to the very corner of my lip because what'll happen is it'll end up pulling the lip down. I have a couple, I don't think you can see them. I got a little bit of a scar right here from a childhood accident. And I'm going just slightly, ever so slightly above the vermilion line in my lip to where you see kind of like that white line that goes right above your lip line, just to give it a little bit more volume. And I'm going to come down here. I'm coming down at an angle. And again, tracing along that natural lip line, because my bottom lip isn't too bad. I don't think it needs too much fullness. Been lucky so far where my lips haven't thinned out too much. But again, I'm 56. I have texture in my lips, just like I'm sure a lot of you do. And you can take your ring finger. I find it's easy to take your ring finger to kind of stabilize yourself. And I'm going beyond and filling in more than just the line, because I find that with lip products, like I actually stopped wearing traditional lipstick. It doesn't stay. And then I don't do the liquid lip too much anymore. I do it sometimes, but just because it looks too drying on me. So what I'm finding more and more these days is I'm using lip liners to kind of line and fill my lips, and then going over it with some sort of balm or gloss, which I'll reapply throughout the day. Now this is not a lip brush, this is just a precision round brush, but I'm just gonna tap it along the edge to kind of blend that into my lip a little more. And you can see I'm kind of using my natural lip color as kind of like, kind of give it a little bit of an ombre effect. And then I'm gonna take this balm. Let's try this out. Now that pencil went on really well. I had no trouble with it. This is a wooden pencil, so you're gonna wanna have a nice sharpener to keep it sharp. And then let's see what this balm feels like. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I think I may actually get more colors of this. It feels really creamy. I should have looked at the ingredients on this before I did this video just to tell you guys more about it, but I really love the way this feels. It's real creamy. I'll have to give you an update later on how well it wore throughout the day. I'm quite sure I'm gonna have to reapply it because I'm constantly like, you know, drinking water, drinking coffee, all the things. But I mean, for a Sunday look, just, you know, just to play with makeup, just to have some fun, just hanging around the house, this works, right? I just got the cream eyeshadow, a little bit of the powder eyeshadow. So far, I'm loving the foundation. I'm not seeing anywhere that it's settling. The powder hasn't settled. It just gave me more of a natural matte finish. I still got a little bit of shine here, so I'm not looking dry. One area that I really pay attention to when it comes to product is my forehead lines. And right now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's not settling in my forehead lines. The powder didn't settle, the foundation didn't settle. And then my concealer has not creased in those tiny lines, which I truly attribute to applying this Wet n Wild product first. I don't use the whole, that whole lip balm Aquaphor. Haven't tried it, but I don't know, I just feel weird about putting that on my face. Just make sure this is blended. But yeah, I think I'll let you guys know in the comments how it held up throughout the day, but so far I'm kind of in love with this foundation because it matched my color, my skin tone really well. It seems to be laying on my skin really well without feeling heavy. I don't feel anything at all. So I'm kind of curious as to what it's going to look like a little bit later because it's still warm here in Texas, so I want to see if the humidity is going to make it break down and melt and kind of fade. So I will check back in later, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you have any recommendations, any suggestions, any feedback on the quality of the video, please let me know because I am still new to this, so obviously I'm always looking to improve. And I'm not a professional when it comes to videos and editing and filming and all that other stuff. So I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.